Remember, there's some pretty important information here in the disclaimer. You might want to give the video a quick pause and read it.
Oh, hey everybody, it's me, Sonic! Sonic the Hedgehog! Just here to remind you that if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button. And for even more amazing customs, don't forget to subscribe to Wake Angel 2001, because between you and me, they're way past cool.
Hello my friends, this is Wake Angel 2001 coming at you with a commission for Audrey, who wanted a female Knuckles. Yep, that's right, we are delving into the dark realms of Rule 63 here, doing a gender flip of a well-established character. So, most of the base figure for this is good old Froppy. The one that I used to make the Jax Pacific scaled Rouge figure before, and now she's making another Jax Pacific scaled female figure. And the second time that it's an Echidna, but the first time that it's Knuckles. Now you may be noticing, like, hey, this is that rare Chase Froppy with the elongated tongue. What did you do with that, Wake Angel? Answer is, I've totally saved that head with my other Froppy figure. So, like, if I ever want to swap the heads around, it's there. So, yes, I saved the head. It's mine now. The rest of the body is a pretty basic conversion that I do all the time. Well, there is one thing. Like, when I make Rouge the Bat, her top, like, pushes everything up into a pleasing cleavage, which is something that's relatively easy to make because it's all pressed up together. But the thing is, this Knuckles figure isn't really going to be wearing clothes, so everything has to hang like a little bit more loose, had to be rounder, I should say. This is kind of like the challenge of when I was making the Princess Sally figures, except, you know, like this one's is in the 4-inch scale rather than the 3-inch scale, so I have some more room to do it. And the shape has to be better, because at this larger size, it would be more noticeable if I screwed something up. So basically I made them one at a time, and then once they were both there and in shape, I did a little bit of the collarbone thing going on to make sure that, you know, it wouldn't look like just a couple of things stuck onto her chest. It would actually look like a natural part of the chest. And the lower body is the tail taken off of the actual Knuckles figure and just stuck onto the back. And of course everything is sculpted a little bit down here to add more of a natural flow into the crotch, I'm going to say, so that, you know, I'm disguising Froppy's belt. I can't cut it off because then it would look like she has no hips at all, but, you know, you can't just leave it there without sculpting over it, or else it'll just look like Knuckles has this weird band going around the middle of her waist, and that would just look weird too. In fact, the early attempt did indeed look weird, as check out that weird little shelf hip thing that she has going on. So I had to take my Dremel to sand a more natural slope into the hip, as you can see here. And then once I had the shape approximated, then I repainted over it, and there we go. Oh, and by the way, I'm pretty sure some of you have noticed that the figure has also been repainted pink. So this fuchsia pink coat shade is very Hyper Knuckles, isn't it? So you might actually call this custom a female Hyper Knuckles. That's although, like, let's go with Super Knuckles, like the official name from the video game, and not Hyper Knuckles from the comic book. Because I'm pretty sure if I say female and hyper, then people are gonna start thinking that they're tags and something that really should not be posted on YouTube. Onto the legs. Now, Froppy has these little thigh-high boots that she has going on, so I had to sculpt over that to hide the seam and make the legs look much more natural. But aside from that, the sculpting here is relatively minor. The shoes are Blaze the Cat Shoes 3D model. And this is what's left of Froppy's foot. Yep, I cut most of the foot away, leaving just the part that goes into the ankle itself, like for the joint. Then I drilled a hole into the top of the shoe and stuck this little spike into it, and covered everything up with some sculpt to make it look, clean. The ankle swivel still works, just for the record, and she still has full control of her ankles. By commissioner's request, the shoe is a slightly different design, all red without that yellow stripe in the middle, with the block on top being white, more the color of shoelaces. Audrey said that she wanted the figure to be left relatively blank so she could make her own alterations to it later. So if she wants to make a pattern on the shoes of her own, or if she wants to put a new outfit on this figure, all of it can be done. It's just... I didn't want to make a half-completed figure as something that I would post on the channel. I wanted the fully complete thing. As for the hands, it's the same trick. I took Froppy's hands and cut the wrist joints out of them, and embedded them deeply into the gloves, the original Knuckles gloves, and everything is kind of reconfigured so that the Froppy arms go into those wrists, and yes, the wrists do still work. This figure has wrist articulation still. And, well, that's the body. That is Fem Knuckles' body. And as you can see, I cut the ball, I cut the ball into just a long skinny peg, one that would be able to embed deeper into the Knuckles head. Yes, I did drill into the hole so that this could go deeper in, because the only thing that's going to be holding it in place is friction, so I want that stem to be nice and long, because the longer it is, the more friction there is. The head itself is a relatively simple job. Again, it's just painted fuchsia, with some eyelashes added to add that little bit of feminine flair. By commissioner's request, there's no additional changing here. I'm not changing the muzzle to be shorter. I'm not remaking the eyes in any way. There's no added hair. It's just Knuckles' head, but now it has eyelashes, so it's a girl. If you think that I didn't do enough, then just bring this up with Sega, because that's basically the difference between the avatars. Okay, so with all that said and done, here is Fem Knuckles. She still has all the articulation of the Froppy figure, so, universal shoulders, wrist swivels, waist joint, ball-jointed hips, knees, ankles, all the posability is still there. Knuckles' dreadlocks do make it a little bit hard. You kind of have to really work to make sure that everything is clashing, and because the tail points up, you have to kind of pull it down and get it in between, so... this isn't going to be something you can just naturally move around, but you can get it into poses if you try. And here's a shot of Fem Knuckles standing next to the original counterpart, just so you guys can see how this works out. And yeah, I still think that the actual Knuckles figure's elbows just have too deep of a bend. You see how this Froppy figure, it has bent elbows, but they're not so extremely bent that the arms clash, and you're able to get more natural poses out of them because of it. So yeah, Jack Specific, you put too much of a bend into Knuckles' arms. No, you stepped into the realm of a pre-assumed pose that messes with the actual articulation. I'm glad you're getting away from this in the later figures, because you have not done this since, but you know what? I feel like the next time you do a re-release of Knuckles, fix his arms. Do a running change on this figure and fix those arms, Jack Specific. It is within your power to do so, and I will buy the figure again just to do that. Seriously. Okay, so thank you all for watching this video. This is Wake Angel 2001, signing off.